Hello everyone, and welcome to Shelf Space. I'm your host, Ross13, and today we are reviewing the HG RMS 117 Gabaldy Beta. I'd actually gotten this kit a little while ago. I believe it was a Father's Day present from my wife and kid, and had even started it, and I thought I had actually finished it and just hadn't reviewed it yet, but apparently it wasn't done yet. But now it is, so here it is. But before we take a look at the kit, let's go ahead and take a look at the box. So we got a really nice looking illustration of the Gabaldy Beta, two in fact, because we got one here and that looks like another one there. And then there's a hi Zach over there. Hi Zach. Nothing? Fine. Moving on. We got the HG Universal Century logo, the Zeta logo, because this appeared in Zeta Gundam. RMS 117 Gabaldy Beta. I think it's 117, or maybe it's 117 or 117, I don't know. EFSF mass-produced mobile suit, even though it looks super Xeon, but that's a Zeta thing. Got a red Bandai logo, and this was made by Bandai in 2018, so just before they did the Bandai Spirit switchover. On this side, we got some nice photographs of the kit, all painted up, looking really snazzy. Have text going over all the different things it can do. Here's all the stuff it comes with. Here's the nifty joints and things that it can do. On this side, we got basically the same illustration as before, minus all the stuff in the background. Gold HGUC thing. This is number 212, which means it is, what, 10 kits before the narrative Apex, if I remember correctly. Not Apex, CPAX. On this side, we have a little write-up about the Gabaldy Beta. You can read that if you want. You done? Okay, a little bit more time. Okay, we're moving on. Neat little action shot there. Your usual warning things. And this still had the price on it. 1,500 yen. I have no idea how much it was before because, like I said, this was a gift. This side, same as the other, but the bluefin sticker. But that's enough of that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the actual figure. And here it is in all its smooth curved line glory. Yeah, like I said before, this is very much sort of a Xeon style looking suit, even though it's Federation. And I believe the in-world explanation for that is because this was made by an Anaheim Electronics after it absorbed Xeonic Industries and stuff. So yeah, and it definitely looks like it was supposed to be the kind of successor to the Gelgoog from the 1 Year War. Very much shares a lot of the same sort of design elements and thought processes, I think. But yeah, design-wise, I'm actually really digging this. I think it looks pretty darn cool. But let's go ahead and take a look at articulation, starting with our usual place, the head. So here's a look at this thing's noggin. And the color separation on this is really nice. You got gray for the pipes, and even the dark maroon color for this little fin thing. You can rotate this guy all the way around. Got a nice little sticker in there for the mono eye, which has this sort of cross thing going on there. Not quite sure what that's all about, but it looks pretty darn cool. And that is actually molded in there, if I remember correctly. So if you wanted to paint that, you can. I just chose not to. I probably should have painted the inside of this black or something like that, or hit it with my black Gundam marker. But I didn't, alas. Articulation-wise, it is on, I believe, the standard sort of double-jointed polycap thing. Yep. That just popped off. You don't get a whole lot of movement back. And like I keep showing here, if you go too much, you will pop this off. So you're a little bit restricted in that regards, but it's not too horrible. You do get a little bit of that turkey neck. Bump, bump, bump. Can't really look down, but it's kind of always in a look down position. So I guess it's not the best articulation in the world, but it has what it needs. The shoulders on this are kind of interesting. You have the standard sort of polycap butterfly joint part, but you also have a series of hinges to bring it out like this. I think we saw this on the Dija, which came out around the same time as this one. So you can move it forward like that, and you can even lift it up like that, plus the usual rotation. So you can get this arm all the way in front of its chest. That's pretty cool. Plus the standard rotate around. Then you have a joint up here. No bicep swivel. You have double jointed elbow with a little bit of hindrance here because of the armor. And I believe, yeah, so sort of a forearm rotation thing going on here. The wrist is standard ball socket joint that can be popped out to switch out with different hands if you have any. This one does have one other option. And on the torso, let's see, what do we have? So we have some pretty nice ab crunch, at least going backwards. Can't go forward too much. But you also have a little bit of rocking back and forth like that. And you can rotate all the way around if you so choose. Let's see, for the legs, we got a little bit of a kick up. The skirt armor, while separate, doesn't allow for a whole lot of movement because of the way the armor is designed. And then you have double jointed knee. Oh, and if you move the knee, you can get this to go up a little bit more. Double jointed knee, not too bad. And then for your foot articulation, you got, I think, a ball socket joint in here for a nice little bit of wiggle and waggle. You do have rotation at the leg there. And butt flap is stationary. Let's see, how much of a John Claude do we got? This feels scary. Yeah, that's pretty good. Though I felt like I was putting a lot of stress on the post inside the hips, so maybe don't do that a whole lot unless you want this thing to become a Xenon or something. So yeah, articulation, pretty darn good. I mean, it's about what you would expect for a modern HGUC kit, I suppose. But good articulation is good articulation. There we go. So you can get this guy in a variety of poses. And he feels pretty strong too, so I don't think you have to worry too much about him getting super floppy, at least not right out of the box. But let's go ahead and move on to accessories. So to start off, we got this, his beam rifle. And a holding hand specifically for it. So it's got trigger finger going on there with very poor trigger discipline unless he's about ready to shoot something right then and there. Now, the only problem is the stock. It kind of gets in the way. So you want to be careful getting it in there because I am terrified I'm going to break this thing because it is very flimsy. It's not a whole lot there. And it does mean that you kind of have to pose it off to the side. It's not the end of the world, but it's not the best, if you ask me. Not that I could think of how else they could design this thing, because really, that's what it looks like in the show, so it has to look like that. I guess maybe some extra jointing in the wrist to help with that. But fortunately, it doesn't look too awful. Next up, we got the shield. This also has one of the few stickers that is used on this thing. This yellow bit. And if you want, you can have it in this sort of collapsed form, or you can, there we go. Pop it apart, and then put it back together like this for its expand form. It would have been kind of cool if maybe they'd had some sort of track system set up so that way you could actually just slide it together like that, but it is what it is. To mount it, you put it on the forearm, and it is one of those shields where it goes on the back of the arm, and I absolutely do not care for that. The shield should go on the side of the arm. Otherwise, it looks like this, and that looks silly. And unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot of options to pose it properly. You can rotate the arm to get it properly on the side, but then you lose your elbow articulation. So that's a thing to be aware of. Next, we have beam sabers. He comes with a yellow beam saber. He actually has two. I'm using one in a custom right now. And I think that's pretty cool. You don't see yellow used a whole lot in Gundam, so at least I haven't. So having a different color there is kind of a neat little change of pace. And it's pretty much your standard beam construction. You got the hilt, the little emitter part, and the blade are all separate pieces, so it's actually made up of 3 pieces. You do have 2, and if you want to use it, you just slide it in like that. He does have, in theory, the storage for the beam sabers. I think that's what these are supposed to be, but they're just sort of fake. And this isn't actually hinged, it just comes up like that. And both shoulders can do that. So that is kind of cool that they included that little bit. I think I would have liked them to have an actual hinge there, but whatevs. But yeah, overall, I dig this kit. This was a fun build, very interesting design. I'd highly recommend this to anybody. So, yeah, that has been a review. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that fun YouTube stuff. Check the description below for links to my storefront where you can get official Shelf Space t-shirts and more. And yeah, thank you again, and I'll see you the next time you invade my shelf space.